That pink farm salmon is a red alert, loaded with 5 times the toxins of any other food. That's right, your healthy dinner choice could be a health hazard in disguise. We're about to blow the lid off the farm salmon industry, and it's a revelation you can't afford to miss. It's a jungle out there in the fish and meat aisles, where the true colors, freshness, and nutrient value of products can sometimes be a facade. In this video, we're diving deep into the farm where salmon is raised, cracking open the truths that might have you pausing before you snag the next piece of delicious-looking salmon. We have the superhero food, the wild-caught salmon, a true epitome of health, vibrant with natural pinkness and omega-3s, contrasted starkly by its far less desirable counterpart, the farmed salmon, which unfortunately shares more traits with junk food than a hearty, nutritious meal. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, come on, it can't be that bad. But it can, and it is.
Fish farms are killing off wild salmon.
What gives them the right to destroy livelihoods in countries far away?
The farmed salmon industry is steeped in deceit and toxicity. What's going on with the salmon we find in our local markets? You stroll down the fish aisle and your eyes are instantly drawn to that vibrant pink salmon. It just stands out in a sea of gray and white fish, doesn't it? It's like it's screaming, "Pick me, I'm the freshest!" But here's the sad reality. It's all just a clever marketing ruse. Yes, we've been fooled.
Salmon again.
It's John West pink salmon to be more accurate. Family salmon. Economical and good for you.
Pink salmon.
Yes, it's
Pink salmon.
it's healthy and it's quick.
Pink salmon.
Yay!
Now, you might say, all this fuss over a pink hue? Well, the industry figured out that we, the consumers, are more willing to pay an extra $1 or so per pound for that bright pink fish. But let's pull back the curtain a bit here, because the truth is far less appetizing. When you place a farm-raised salmon fillet side by side with a wild one, even a novice could spot the difference. The farmed fish has an unnaturally bright hue, thanks to a diet designed to pump it full of fats and, sadly, a horrifying amount of toxins.
Salmon is a wonderful, wonderful source of omega-3 fatty acids, but when it's farm raised, they're given feed that is not what they would normally get with just phytoplankton out in the ocean. So it's much better to have wild salmon. The omega-3 fatty acid content of those fish is much higher.
It's not even the salmon's natural color. It's artificially induced through their diet, primarily to lure us into buying it. Yes, it seems we've been judging the book by its cover, or in this case, the fish by its color. Let's remove another layer of the farmed salmon production. Farmed salmon are raised in cramped, unsanitary conditions and fed a cocktail of unnatural, genetically modified feed that essentially transforms them into living, swimming, hazardous material deposits. The testing does not lie. Farmed salmon have been caught red-finned, harboring staggering levels of toxins that are known for wreaking havoc on the human body. We're talking about the presence of the notorious polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs here, which are found in concentrations alarmingly higher in farmed salmon than in wild salmon. These nasty compounds are infamous for their potential carcinogenic effects, not to mention the adverse health impacts like immunosuppression and reproductive toxicity they bring to the table. The research and relentless experiments have been screaming the truth at us for over a decade now. The farmed salmon gracing our plates is nothing but a toxic imposter, masquerading as healthy food. Numerous studies have ripped the mask off this fraudulent character, revealing a horror story of organic pollutants that have no business being in our bodies.
You will find different kind of ivermectin, you will find flubenzerones, you know, all kind of chemicals. And that's disgusting, you know. There's nothing for people to eat, I mean. You know, Norwegian salmon is the most toxic food you have in the whole world.
Gone are the days when salmon was regarded as a healthy food choice. Over the past few years, a plethora of studies have consistently pointed out potential health risks tied to farmed salmon consumption. It turns out that these fish might be harboring a significantly higher level of toxins compared to many other foods. And when I say higher, I mean alarmingly so. One of the main culprits is something called polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs. These are substances you really don't want in your system. They come with a litany of health risks, including the big C, cancer, and can cause some serious damage in our immune system. But the story gets even murkier. Dioxins and a group of chemicals once used in flame retardants have also been detected in farmed salmon. Yeah, chemicals from flame retardants in the salmon we eat. Do you know the effect of these chemicals on child development is so concerning that they've even been banned in several countries? Yes, because of their profound impact on young ones, many places have said a big no to these substances. The big question we need to ask is, how are these toxins getting into the salmon? The answer simply lies in the feed they consume and the environments they're raised in. Honestly, after knowing all this, I'm seeing farm salmon in a new, rather scary light. I genuinely believe it's time we delve deeper into the source of our salmon. After all, being informed can lead to healthier choices for us and our families. So the fish feed, crafted to be high in protein and fat, isn't as healthy as it seems. It's packed with toxins due to a nasty cycle of bioaccumulation that occurs in the fatty tissues of the fish used to create it. Alarmingly, a significant chunk of this feed originates from the Baltic Sea, a place notorious for its elevated levels of pollution and toxic waste dumping. Moving a tad closer to home, Sweden is setting an example by ringing the alarm bells loud and clear. There, fish vendors have to explicitly warn customers about the potential toxicity lurking in Baltic fish. Moreover, there's strong governmental advice steering people to limit their intake of fatty fish to just once a week. And when it comes to pregnant women, the advice is even more strict. Stay clear of fish from the Baltic region, period. So when it comes to choosing what goes on the dinner table, let's think twice before reaching for that farmed salmon. It's high time to be vocal, to be informed, and to make choices that safeguard health and well-being. Let's not allow a plate of farmed salmon to become a ticking time bomb of health issues. What do you say? Now, let's point our guns at feed pellets. These pellets, essential in fish farming, are made by cooking fatty fish to extract protein meal and oil. This method, instead of producing a nutritious blend, ends up attracting scary levels of dioxins and PCBs. It's less of a wholesome meal for the fish and more of a toxic brew. The very foundation of what we're feeding these fish is dangerous to this extent. Let's see what's next. Ethoxyquin, a substance originally crafted as a pesticide in the 1950s by Monsanto, is being sneakily added to the mix as an antioxidant. This chemical faces strict controls when used on our fruits and veggies, yet bafflingly, it gets a hall pass when it comes to fish, at levels that are skyrocketing, reaching up to 20 times more than what's allowed in other foods. This should have us all up in arms, yet it seems the uproar is being stifled. There was this researcher, Victoria Bond, out in Norway, who ventured to expose the truth about ethoxyquin. Yet instead of being heralded for her efforts, she found herself pushed out, her critical research undermined and dismissed. And you know what's even more alarming? This toxic story isn't just a farmed salmon problem. Our beloved wild salmon are also swimming in a sea of pollution, absorbing a cocktail of contaminants that are frankly nothing short of a nightmare. Research has shown that these pollutants are meddling with their growth, reproduction, and even their behavior. It's a heartbreaking scene, witnessing the decline of such a majestic species. It's seriously alarming to note that the water bodies in the US are hotbeds for mercury contamination, despite efforts such as the Clean Water Act implemented decades ago. In some areas, the mercury levels are so high that locals are strongly advised not to consume any fish caught locally.
Mercury can also increase the risk of cardiovascular disease.
But it's not just mercury. Our oceans are facing an onslaught of microplastics. As of 2016, around 13 metric tons of plastic were reported to be entering the waterways annually. These microplastics are far from harmless. They attach to toxins in the water and can enter the bodies of fish, causing cell damage and inflammation.
And one of the fish, which was only about 3.5 centimeters in size, had 13 microplastics inside its gut contents.
A report by DEFRA highlighted that a vast range of sea creatures, from zooplankton to whales, are ingesting these microplastics. It's quite distressing to think that consuming 6 oysters might mean swallowing about 50 plastic microbeads, creating a significant food safety issue. Now, shifting focus to our dinner plates, we need to talk about the stark nutritional differences between farmed and wild salmon. The farmed variety not only has a higher fat content, but also presents an imbalanced ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fats compared to wild salmon. And now, it seems like we're standing at a critical crossroads when it comes to picking our salmon. It certainly feels like a wake-up call, urging us to rethink our choices and to vote with our wallets. Thanks for being with us till the end of this video. Catch you in the next one.